Introduce Lester. Some of you probably know him from Xylacor. He's one of our key strategic partners. Been around the industry as an industry leader for probably well over 20 years. I love having him at boot camp. I want you to pay close attention to him. And as you can see, he's a CEO. And we like bringing in CEO, either active CEOs or folks who've done this job before that you're doing today, so they understand your pain and you can ask them very deliberate questions and they can give you very deliberate answers. And I don't think you'd have any problem with Lester in that respect. He's very charismatic and very knowledgeable. And I'm happy that he was able to make it over from Las Vegas, not too far. But we love having him here, and I welcome Xylacor.
Thank you. Thank you. Where did the former speaker go? Oh, he went out back. I have a thank you note for him. You have to give it to him. He talks about thank you notes, so here's his thank you note. Thank you, Gary. But anyway, listen, I'm going to raise the level up a bit here. You guys ready for lunch? Get your sugar level up. Pay close attention to the 2 days you're here. I'm really serious about it. I'm going to take off my Xylacor CEO hat out here. I'm going to put my MSP VAR hat on. I'm also a managed service provider, been in business since 1983. But if it wasn't for Gary and their team about 6 years ago when they came over to our little shop over in Vegas and talked to us about recurring revenues and managed services, I would not be here today. Because we switched over from being a reactive, product-centric company to a proactive, recurring revenue service company, and that's why we're here. So pay close attention. We're eating the Kool-Aid. We were one of the first adopters of level platforms before level platforms was even being used. Dan Shapiro, we've been using him. So these are all very good vendors. I'm not going to sell you anything today. I'm going to talk to you about something very, very important, about business continuity planning, about your legacy, about your survival, and also how you can make money with this. One of the things you just need to know about me, I'm not going to put all my titles, what I have done, but I want to show you the picture of my beautiful granddaughter. Isn't she cute? At the count of 3, everybody say, ah. 1, 2, 3. Ah. And old Grandpa's not bad looking either, is he? All right. I had to put my pink tie. I'm from Vegas. I gave you some stuff from Xylacor. I'm not going to go through it, but there is a sparkling luggage tag. See, we got all the lights and stuff that you can take home and utilize it. That's kind of a Las Vegas kind of thing. But anyway, the reason I show this picture up here is not because we've got some beautiful faces, but because I think one of the things we as owners forget is the survival and the legacy and the stuff we need to do to protect our own company from a business continuity, disaster recovery perspective, and also to share it with our customers. So let's launch right into it. I'll come full circle to the slide by the time I'm done. Gary said I'm from Las Vegas. I don't know if you know this, but we are the mortgage foreclosure capital of the world. Okay? How many of you have been to Vegas? Okay, great. I want you to keep coming to Vegas. We're hurting. 1 out of every 8 homes are in foreclosure.
So, is it mine or yours?
It's probably mine. Are you from Vegas? Okay, so it's not yours, it's mine. All right. You know about it, right? 86% of our homes are underwater. Okay? We have about, this is a drop, but I'm showing you this for a certain reason. We have about a 12% now unemployment rate. But look at this. This is from the Bureau of Labor Statistics from the government. And they tell us we're the what? 51st state. What state are we? What's your name, by the way? Jeff? Jeff. What state are we?
What state are we?
Number-wise. Well, we're number 50 down at the bottom from an unemployment ranking. We have the worst unemployment stats. And if you do the construction business, as you well know, it's almost 50% unemployment. I don't know, we should meet. There's enough business to go around, although my VAR business is out there since '83. But I'm sure, like yours, we've had a rough 2-3 years. It's been horrible. We've had a lot of people go out of business.
Business growth, financial problems.
Exactly, right? You know, one of our clients was a construction company. I don't know why, but they owned a white limo. They couldn't pay their bills, so guess what? We repossessed the white limo. So if you want to come to Vegas, you call me up. I'll pick you at the airport with my white limo. You'll have to listen to a 20-minute Xylacor commercial from the airport to your hotel, but then I'll drop you off, okay? But anyway, don't come all at once. So that's a little bit about Vegas. It's horrible from an economic perspective. Come visit us. I share this slide with you because, along with Jeff, if we can survive in the toughest economy in the country, and we're only about a 18 to 20 employee managed service provider there, you guys can too. Every morning when I drive to the office and I see all those cars out there, I think about all the mortgages, about all the employees I have, the payroll I have to meet, the cash flow I have to look at. And so I suffer from the same anxiety that you guys do. And I share that with you because I want you to know that I'm coming to you with this perspective of business continuity from a VAR perspective. Just really quickly with our history, we started in 1983. My partner was Ron Cook, a senator out of Nevada. Started from a very small strip mall. We transitioned from products to business continuity solutions in 2006. 2007, we founded another company. We really did not want to do this, but we decided that our customers needed a complete disaster recovery business continuity in the cloud. So Xylacor was formed. There are some of our things that we did. But again, I wanted to share with you this with you because I'm speaking from where you sit. Question: how many of you have a current business continuity disaster recovery plan in writing and tested? 2 of you, 3 of you. Let me pause a second. For the rest of you, what does that mean for your legacy? This is the most important thing you have. Your business. Can a disaster happen to your business? Question number 2. How many of you offer business continuity disaster recovery solutions and tell your clients they need to have a business continuity plan? Okay, a little bit more hands. But if you're going to tell your customers about it, you better have something in place. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to take all day to do it. I'm going to give you some hints and steps. I'm going to send you a whole kit if you'll give me your business cards at the end of the presentation and set you on your way. Can a disaster happen to you? This is my fellow VAR, Managed Service Provider Group. They are based over in Joplin. That's what happened to their site. Remember that a few months ago? Fortunately, they were prepared. Just a few hours, they were able to get their stuff together, work at someone else's house, and they were up and running. What's your business continuity plan? What's your disaster recovery plan? Is it in writing? Have you tested it? It's your legacy, your spouse's legacy, your kids' legacy. So my agenda today is very simple. Just share you our success story. We're going to talk about business continuity, disaster recovery as a vertical, give you a little bit of a snapshot of starting to prepare a plan, inspire you to have a plan in place. If there's one thing I can do today is that some of you, maybe even 25% of you, maybe even 50% of you will get the vision to develop something come Monday morning when you get back home to develop a plan for you, for your site, and then for your clients. Tell you a little bit how to save money, make money. I'm going to share you a couple tips that have nothing to do with disaster recovery that we have done in our own VAR practice, and we will move on. A year or 2 ago, Forrester came up with a research for the small, medium-sized business companies. They researched about 1,200 companies, and they came up with this stat of the top priorities for 2010, 2011, bleeding in 2012. And if there is any indicator of what is true with the lack of hands that went up here this morning, it'll be 2013. Business continuity not being one that you guys have thought very much of, but yet it's a very important vertical. By the way, for the large enterprise level companies, it's now their second priority. What does that mean? That tells us that the enterprise level companies have now been able to move downstream. They've already been doing this. But what that also tells me is that there are affordable business continuity, disaster recovery offerings that you can have for yourself as well as for your customers. I believe, and I think this is one of my most important slides today, that business continuity and disaster recovery is the most important vertical for solution providers, for integrators, value-added resellers, managed service providers. I also believe, and I'm very passionate about this. Last year I spoke to over 1,600 CEO and VAR owners across the country. I've spoken to the National Hurricane Association about this. And I believe it is so important that the failure to provide a business continuity disaster recovery offering to your customers is the ultimate in disservice. What's your name, sir?
David.
David. Where are you from?
Yuma.
Yuma. Okay. You got a famous sheriff there, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. He paints his prison pink. Is that true?
Pink underwear for the inmates.
Yeah, okay. I won't go there, but it's my ties pink. Where was I going? Okay. I just remember where I was going. I was going with that. You probably set up networks and things like that for your customers, correct? Would you set up a network and not sell them a firewall or anti-spam or antivirus, any of that stuff? Why not?
It's essential.
It's essential. It's important. Yes, sir.
So every managed service customer, I won't have an off-site, on-site backup solution. I don't want to deal with the aggravation.
Exactly.
I mean, the bottom line is, I don't want to get a phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning saying my server's gone, the information's gone, and God damn it, I'm going to kill you.
Exactly. We should partner.
Right?
We should partner together in Vegas.
I mean, that's the biggest
Yeah, that's right.
thing. And it's an easy sale.
I believe it's a moral imperative. Should I even go that far? I'm going to go that far. It's a moral imperative for you not to have a business continuity disaster recovery plan and an offering that you can sell to your customer. All my customers too, I used to recommend, I now make it a requirement. You have to have it. Because if I'm selling uptime, that's what you guys are selling. You're not selling technology. You're selling uptime. You're their trusted business advisor. And if you're not going to provide something for them to keep their business going, you're not doing your job. Yes, sir.
Where do you include testing in this? Is that part of the plan?
The question is, where do you include testing in this? Is this part of the plan? Absolutely. That's part of the plan. You know, trust and verify. You should be able to test while you're in production. You should be able to have audit trails on what you're doing. There's enough good solution and offerings out there affordable to the SMB market space now to be able to provide that. I also believe that it's the biggest potential for recurring revenue for managed service providers today. So my question to you is, what's your business disruption plan? Most disasters are not dramatic or newsworthy. They're usually mundane. When I put the slide up, this guy kind of looks like who? Charlie Sheen, doesn't it? Now, he was kind of a disaster, wasn't he? Yeah. With the large unemployment, by the way, employee sabotage is a big thing right now. Employee sabotage, that's a disaster. By the way, what's the highest, or what's the biggest average common event around the country that triggers a company to declare a disaster? Do you know? Is it flood? Anybody take a guess? Huh?
Employee theft.
Employee theft? No. One more guess? Frozen pipes? That's coming there, but no. Let me throw this next slide up here. All right, there you go. 91% power outages. You live in Yuma, Arizona. You know what that's like. 77%, that's where we come in, right? We're trusted technology advisors. Hardware error, fire, flood, hurricane, software error, down to 3% of riots. I guess they added it on there with the all the stuff that's happening across the world. Again, I'll have the slide available to you. Just hand me your card at the end of our presentation. Here's some key statistics you can use when you're talking to your customers. 93% of companies that lose their data for 10 days or more filed for bankruptcy within 1 year of the disaster, and 50% filed for bankruptcy immediately thereafter. Gartner came up with another interesting stat after Katrina. By the way, Katrina and 9/11 were great, I shouldn't say it that way, they were horrible trigger points that showed how people were ill-prepared for disasters. One of the statistics that came out of Katrina was that 80% of the businesses in the SMB market space who were not up and running within 5 to 7 days after a disaster, within a period of 12 months, went out of business or declared bankruptcy. My question to you, as a trusted business advisor, what are you doing with your customers and helping them develop a plan? It's so simple. You know those quarterly business reviews you guys are supposed to do? Wouldn't it be great if you went to your customer and said, Mr. Owner, for this quarter, I'm not going to sell you anything. In fact, I'm going to help you prepare a business continuity disaster recovery plan. This is my gift to you as part of your technology trusted business advisor. Talking about stickiness to your firm. I won't go through all these stats. I'm going to breeze right through. So what's your business continuity plan going to look like? It's obviously got to be in writing. I have in the kit that I will send you, that we have with MSPU, a template. Don't make it complicated. Fill in the forms. It's got to be in writing. It's got to be more than just IT perspective. It's got to be tested, reviewed, shared. It's got to be meet some legal compliance, customer requirements. And then the big thing, hold a company meeting, make it a way of life. Every quarter, revisit it. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can simply be a start by sharing your employees' email addresses. By the way, have you heard of the company Cantor Fitzgerald? Okay. Poster child for 9/11, 81st floor, I don't know if it's the first, I think it's the second Twin Tower. 2 weeks after 9/11, they were up and running. You know how many employees they lost? Over 80%. How did they get together? Prior to 9/11, all the employees had shared not just their personal cell phone numbers, but also their personal email addresses, not the company email addresses. So after 9/11 happened, they all started talking to each other, texting to each other. Bob, are you okay? Oh my gosh, Bob perished. Jane, are you all right? Oh yeah, Jane, we're going to meet over such and such over in New Jersey. 2 weeks later, they were up and running. A great story in planning and preparedness. A very basic plan. Again, in our plan that we'll hand you, you got to have the contact information. Vendor contact information is important. Emergency procedures, facility information, evacuation and rally points. One of the things you should do when you get back home is, in case something happens and your site is shut down, do your employees know where to meet for you to have a head count? Over at my site, we told everybody, Jeff, to go to Denny's, which was down the road from where we're at. Well, about 6 months ago, Denny's closed down, so we got to go to Lowe's now, have another place. In other words, point being, test it, review the plan. You need to do a risk assessment, all the risks, the geographical risks. Is your facility in danger from surroundings? The best thing you can do is go to Google Earth and do a 5-mile radius around your facility and see the risks that are right around your facility and start planning for them. Give you a case in point. We were doing a business continuity consultation. One of my staff did it. This is a medical building. Okay, it's a medical office right over here. And do you see any risks around here? I know it's a little bit blurred from the back, but what is this over here? It's like a railroad track. What goes through railroad tracks? Trains. What's on trains? Hazmat, yeah. If you want to do an exercise in futility, go to Google, get all the hazmat numbers, and sit by the train track some Saturday or some weekday and watch the tankers go by and see all the dangerous stuff that goes by. So you got the rail, we had the train tracks going here, and he had back behind the medical center a sporting goods store with a warehouse full of ammunition and swimming pool chemicals. So you mix the two and what happens? Well, that place is ready to blow up, and guess what? He wanted a plan, and guess what? He bought business continuity and the cloud backup and recovery services because he saw it. He got it. Yet, no one recognized that risks because no one had pointed it out to him. Just give you a case and example. You guys are sitting here. If a pipe broke in your office today, would your staff know where the main faucet is to turn it off? Would they know? We were doing a business continuity planning with a very large VAR out in the Midwest somewhere. And by the time we were through, we found out that there were 8 places they had to go to shut off their water that they didn't know about in case something happened. Pre-planning. That's all it takes. Communications. We talked a little bit about this. I'm going to run right through. You're going to have all of this for you by the time we're done. By the way, when a disaster happens, don't get on the cell phone and start calling. The best way to do it is use text because it goes through a lot quicker. And by the way, here's another tip for you. Everybody hold up their smartphones up. Get your smartphones. Get your phones out there. All right, everyone? Now, everybody reach in their pocket and hold their backup plan for their smartphone. You guys have your battery? All right? Hey, good. You get the award. You come to the next boot camp for free or whatever. I shouldn't say that. All right? Simple. This is only like 40 bucks. Keep it in your pocket. You may not know when you will need it, but when you need it, it could save your business. More importantly, it could save your life. A very simple thing to do, okay? Phone and email failover. Do you have 2 ways into your facility? What happens to your exchange? What if the cell towers are down? And this plan that I'll give you, we cover all that stuff. You can figure it out, and you need to work on the plan. Oh, look at this. All of this stuff, there are already available technology solutions that you already have that you can bundle in, that you can easily sell to your end users. Talk about making money. It's a whole business continuity play. Where should the plan reside? Obviously where you can get to it. You know, a recovery site, a command center, put it in a folder or in a thumb drive, however you want to use it, but it should be accessible where you can get it. There's some resources for planning. You can look at this when we send this to you. Some of you remember this guy. He was a brash, hard-nosed general in Katrina, General Russell Honore, but he made some really great points. He said, after Katrina, focus on preparation, not a response, have a plan. Most disaster planning and testing does not assume power and communications will be down. Expect to be in the dark without cell phones and ATMs. And credit cards won't work. And by the way, another simple tip, carry a couple $100 in your billfold cash. Because what happens when you have a disaster? Can't get to those ATMs. Only problem is if you live in Vegas, you have $100 or $200 in your billfold, and if you're passed by those blackjack tables, I don't do it anymore. We live there. You know, you want to double down or something. But that's the tourist, okay. But here's the most important point that General Honore said. He said, it's not the government's job to get you water after a disaster. Get your own damn kit. Because what happens when there's a disaster? FEMA rolls in, Red Cross rolls in, a lot of these other government agencies rolled in. They're taking care of the big guys. They'll take care of the MGM, they'll take care of WIN, but they won't take care of you and me. We got to take care of ourselves, you know? So go to Costco when you're out there and get, you know, three more stuff of water that you can store, some of the things you need to keep. Do something to help yourself in case the disaster strikes, all right? Let's shift gears a little bit into choosing a little bit of your backup and disaster recovery offerings. Back in the 90s, the buzzword in technology was backup, right? Backup, 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 backup. Today, backup doesn't mean worth diddly squat. It's not all about backup right now. The buzzword is about restore and recoverability. Because what good is backup if you can't recover and restore? I would like to propose to you, as you look at solutions, and there are many good solutions out there. Great vendors come over to the boot camp. Look at things that can do quick file recovery, quick failed server recovery, quick disaster recovery, and then you will get a solution that will work well for you. I'm going to give you a quick 3 success stories of what we had in our VAR practice and how the customers related to it. You probably know where this is, Jeff. It's a block away from the MGM. It's a non-gaming hotel. I'm showing you some of our customers. Don't go out there and steal it from me, okay? All right. But that's all right. If we're not doing a good job, you should have it. Okay. Carriage House and Resort, CFO, end of the month, lost or accidentally deleted her spreadsheet, was freaking out, called us. Within a few seconds, 6 mouse clicks away, that Excel spreadsheet was restored. She was happy as a clam. She's a great, great referral for us today. Here's one of my favorite referral stories. Trump Towers, you all know about Trump, Donald Trump. One of our clients out there. Yeah, you've heard this one before. We had the IT manager called us, Eric. It was like July 2. He was freaking out. His sales server had crashed. And he says, Lester, I need help. I'm panicking. I said, calm down, Eric. What's the matter? He says, well, HP can't deliver the stuff till about 3 or 4 days. I need my sales pipeline, which is in my sales server. It's crashed. I can't get to it. I said, Eric, calm down. He says, no, I need it now. You don't understand. I says, why, Eric? He says, well, Donald's coming tomorrow. And you know what happens when Donald comes. Fortunately, within an hour and a half, we virtualized on site. We were able to merge all the proprietary applications that they had. And Eric was able to print out his sales pipeline. And he showed it to Mr. Trump. It took us 6 months to be able to use Mr. Trump's name for marketing. We finally got it, and he's a happy customer today. You can do it too. A small company like ours did it. You can do it too. Final success story was back in 2008. Hurricane Ike was barreling through one of our customers in Houston. They sell laptop screens all across the country. Joe calls and says, you know, you got to virtualize our whole site off-site because Hurricane Ike will probably hit us by Monday morning. He called on a Friday. By Saturday evening, we had his whole network virtualized off-site. While they were in production, the CEO, the CFO, their marketing guy, everybody logged in so they could check to make sure it worked. Hurricane Ike barreled through. Nothing happened. Their building still was there, but they were without electricity for 3 weeks. And they could continue their business as usual. I'd like to propose to you that if you have a solution like this to sell to your customers, you will have something to offer them. If your traditional play is online or tape backup, where if a disaster happens, 1, you assemble the IT staff, 2, you replace the equipment, 3, you acquire the software, 4, you configure the network, 5, you assemble the PCs, 6, you reload the data, and then you pray because and hope that it works. Remember, hope's not a strategy, right? And 4 to 7 days you begin work. I would like to propose to you don't have a solution. You need a solution that if the disaster strikes, your customer calls you, you recover to the clouds, they connect, and with 0-2 days they're up and running. It's usually 24 to 48 hours for a small, medium-sized business that you really, from a restored time objective, RTO, that can keep you in that threshold, unless you're in the more compliant verticals, that will give you a fairly good business continuity disaster recovery offering, because it takes about that long after disaster for everybody to get together and figure out what's going on and what's happening. Speaking of making money with business continuity disaster recovery, it's a great thing to do. Hold a lunch and learn, especially after a disaster happens, or even you don't have to do that. I can guarantee you that. In fact, you know, use, you're with E Creek, right? Right. Use them to set up the appointments. I will guarantee you that you can fill this place up if you hold a business continuity disaster recovery luncheon. I have the template ready for you. I'll prepare it for you. In fact, I'll make you a deal. Gary will have to back me up on this. He'll choose. If one of you requests from Gary, he'll choose somebody that you want to hold one of these seminars. I'll, on my own expense, will come to your place with auspices of MSPU and present for you. I'll guarantee you the place will be full, be great lead generation. We have 40 to 50 people, new potential customers coming when this happens. We'll send you the telemarketing sheets on how to do it, so you know, feel free to do that. I'm going to move really quickly because my time is up. This has nothing to do with business continuity, but if you want to save money, check out the Workers' Investment Act in your state. By the way, when you hire a new employee who has been unemployed, there's still some funds left that you can be reimbursed through this Workers' Investment Act. Doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, you still get it. You'll get 50% of the salary for the first week. This was in Nevada, and 90% for the next 8 weeks. They give you money for orientation. There's a new program where you can hire a vet. By the way, 1 million vets will be coming back to our country in the next 3 or 4 years. There's subsidies for that. Take advantage of it. Save money, get money. They even pay for clothes. I know you wouldn't believe this, but look at this. This guy said, this is one of our staff. Did you say I could get reimbursed for clothes or certification? I'm interested in VMware virtualization. And the lady said, how much is it? And she says, I will pay for your clothing once we get the proper paperwork completed. So we got a senior engineer now in our site who's who has nice clothes and shoes courtesy of the federal government. Take the money and run. Another way to save on money, we've been using this every year. You can get graduate degreed, master level, college degreed IT interns for $7 an hour. You don't have to pay their Social Security, their medical stuff. They're vetted. They're from overseas. They stay for 18 months. It's a great way. I've got an intern from Russia right now, a brilliant graduate level gal, and she's doing a lot of back-end stuff. Obviously, we don't put her on help desk because her English is not quite there yet, but it's a great way of cutting down your expenses. Give me your email. Give me your business card. I will drop you and send you all the stuff here, a copy of the presentation, the facility profile, the business continuity lunch and learn, all the stuff we talked about, and we will get that to you. Finally, in conclusion, I got 21 seconds. Is this all there is to life and work? When you come to Las Vegas, go to Binion's. Jeff, you've been there. I've always wondered what $1 million looked like. I came to this country as an immigrant in 1973 with one big black suitcase and $250. So I've always wondered what it was like to have $1 million. So you go to Binion, they'll take a picture for you for free. That's real money. Unfortunately, it's in plexiglass. But you can fantasize, right? We're here. It's all about making money. It's about profit. But I would like to submit to you, is this all there is to life and work? Is this what it's all about? No. That's what that's all about. I'd like to introduce to you my newest grandson. That's David Leslie. Okay? Thank you. 1 year ago today, my 86-year-old father passed away. Today. He left a great legacy. He prepared. Fortunately, my son named him after my father, David Leslie. At the end of the day, it's really not about all that stuff out there. It's about business continuity. Business continuity is life continuity. Life continuity is legacy. Thank you for your time.